You don't need social media to sell your art. I know everyone's telling you you need to post your art on Instagram and make reels and post carousels, but honestly, you don't. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I was able to sell art without social media, how I decided to finally quit social media and why, and I'm going to share other benefits of not having social media as well. I just quit Instagram and I'm still selling my art. Nothing has changed in my business because if you're anything like me, you're a sensitive artist, social media exacerbates ADHD, and I just came to realize that if I don't want my daughter using social media, if I don't want her to be completely out of focus and addicted to her phone, then I should be the example of that. So that's why I quit social media. However, I still use social media as a tool, but it doesn't use me anymore. So I didn't do anything drastic. I did not delete my social media accounts. I have two. I have one for my jewelry business and I have one for my art. I didn't delete them, they're still there, but I'm just not consuming social media anymore. After years of consuming social media, I feel like I can finally breathe. I feel like I just want to tell people life after social media is so much better. And I know that sounds really funny to say. It feels like almost like, there's actually life after death, but there's actually a better life after social media. This is how I feel. And to be honest, it's not about comparing yourself to others, because if you think about it, social media is basically fake life. It's all highlights, it's curated life. For me, it was more about showing my work. I always used Instagram to showcase my jewelry, to showcase my art. But I just hated spending so much time scrolling, that doom scrolling that a lot of ADHD people like myself do. I just cannot even believe that so many years my soul has been sucked on this app. So I quit. I quit Facebook years ago, never looked back. And like I said, I did not delete my account, but I'm just not going there. I'm not consuming it and have no interest, no withdrawals, nothing. I just find it so boring nowadays. So why did I quit making content for Instagram? Because every time that I was making content for Instagram, I was not building my own world. So how do I use Instagram now? I use it as a portfolio. So my jewelry account is still up. It's a portfolio for all of my jewelry. And my art account is still up. It's an art portfolio. I post whenever I have new pieces, new art. I post a lot of stories, and in these stories I'm always directing people to my YouTube channel. I know Instagram doesn't like that, but that's what I use it now for. I use it to direct people to my YouTube channel, which is where I'm spending most of my time anyways. And I do love to consume content on YouTube because on YouTube I'm educating myself. I'm learning new things. But I didn't feel like I was learning anything on Instagram. So I prefer to create content for YouTube because it's a platform that I enjoy more. And I enjoy having more deep conversations, doing more deep content. I couldn't do that on Instagram. Here I can have deep conversations. I can share more. I can be more myself. I can be more this multifaceted artist that I am, which in Instagram, there was always the separate world of my jewelry, the separate world of my art because of algorithm. So here I am just Danny who does all of the different kinds of art, the jewelry, the paintings. I show both, and I can be exactly who I am here on this platform on YouTube. So since I quit Instagram, I've been reading a lot. I just went back to being the bookworm I always was. At night, it's my moment. I sit by my fire and I read books with my cup of tea. And I read fantasy books and it just makes me so happy. I am reading fiction again. I am writing more, doing more of my journaling like I used to. All of these things that before I would end up in this soul-sucking place called Instagram, and I was just not doing reading anymore. I was not writing. I was not doing the stuff that really made me feel at home with myself, that made me feel relaxed and not anxious. And I no longer want to be in this hamster wheel of creating posts for Instagram because I don't enjoy it. So my life after Instagram has been more about creating, learning, and building real systems that are burnout proof. So why am I choosing YouTube instead? Because YouTube is evergreen. YouTube is a place where people can find my content years after I've done it, and I know that because before creating this art channel, I used to have a crystal channel, and in this crystal channel, I had spent years without posting anything, and I was still getting subscribers, I was still getting comments, I was still getting a lot out of my crystal channel than Instagram ever gave me when I paused, when I stopped the hamster wheel. I feel like the YouTube algorithm brings more of the right people to me. because here I've been able to connect in a way to people that I have never been able to connect on Instagram. I got to connect to multifaceted artists, which I never was able to do on Instagram because, like I said before, it was one place for jewelry, one place for my art, for my paintings. And here I get to meet with more multifaceted artists that are doing the exact thing I am. So you don't need Instagram to sell art, and a lot of artists believe that they do need Instagram to sell art because so many artists have gone viral and this is how they're selling their art. That's not how I sold my art in the past at all. And I know that in my jewelry account, maybe I have more of a following. I have 20k people following my account, but that's not how it began. I began selling before having all of these followers. And nowadays I don't even post there. And I'm still selling. So let me share exactly what I did. So at first when I began my jewelry, I began doing markets. So the markets taught me how to sell my work, how to talk about my work, how to connect to my ideal customer avatar, to my dream clients. And it was also the place where I first began collecting my emails, because people who buy from you in markets, they will buy from you again. Through markets, I also got real-time feedback, and I could also see what the client wanted next, what customers they wanted next. And this way I could later tell them, okay, now I have earrings, now I have rings. And this is how I began my jewelry business, because in the beginning I began with only one product, which were mala meditation necklaces. So after I began making bracelets, after I began making other pieces, and it was all through real connections, through talking to people, through understanding what they wanted. I remember one time this one client she was a lonely elderly lady, and she asked me if I would come over to her house to chat with her, have a cup of tea, and to share my jewelry. And she actually bought a lot of my pieces. So real connections are still real. I used to also create little events in my house where I was selling to people that I knew all of my jewelry. So real connections lead to real sales. And you can easily start collecting emails from people who buy from you in markets, or people who are interested in what you're doing, and people who, friends of friends that like the earrings that you wore, or the art that you showed them during lunch. That's how I was building my first email list. There are other hacks that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video too. So like I mentioned in my previous video, I was also doing B2B markets. So what are B2B markets? These are online marketplaces where shops, they're looking for people who make beautiful handmade products. So I was selling not only to shops in my local area in the beginning, but after I got into all of the online marketplaces, and this is the best place to go, because in these marketplaces, you're connecting to businesses that want to buy a lot of your art products, that want to buy a lot of your prints, of your jewelry, of the things that you make, your candles, all of the things, all of your crafts. These are the people that are looking to buy a lot of what you already are making. So businesses are working for professional artists to work with, and I have a video that explains all about that, which I'll link also on the description. But this was my #1 place to sell all of my art. We're in these marketplaces. So the other thing that I did was I used to do a lot of ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, because they're the same. When you make your ads on Facebook, you can choose to do them on Facebook and on Instagram. And so I used to do a lot of ads where I would be matched to the people who like the kind of art or jewelry that I make. So ads, they work really well. I'm not the best person to talk about how to create these ads, but if you wish, I can do an interview with my marketing guy who can explain a little bit how we would work on the ads together, because he was the one who would do the audience match and all of the technical part that I'm not really good at. So let me know in the comments if you want me to bring him, then I can do an interview with him. But we used to do a lot of ads, and these ads, they would convert really well. A lot of people with big audiences, they do ads as well. I see that all the time. Big audiences that are doing ads, so they're not just doing organic reach either, they're also working with ads. Working with ads is an easy way to convert and to get sales online. But for that to work well, your Instagram needs to look very aesthetic, like I said, like a portfolio. So create an Instagram that looks like a beautiful gallery, showcasing all of your work, showcasing your art, your jewelry, very cohesive. No pictures of your lunch, just pictures of your work. Oh, and another thing that is really, really important is If you're not good at taking good pictures, just work with a photographer, because that is game changing. I'm not the best of taking beautiful pictures of my art and my jewelry, so I've been working with a photographer from the beginning, and she makes incredible photos of all of my products. So this is a game changer, because this is going to make you look professional. This is going to make you look like somebody who actually put the effort to create a beautiful business, that you're a professional, that you're not an amateur. Your Instagram now can be just a beautiful portfolio, a beautiful art gallery of your work, and get a photographer to do it. Put in the highlights, the shops that you're in, all of the testimonials that you have, the social proof, behind the scenes, and all of these things that are important for your social media to look nice, to look professional, and use it as a portfolio, and then turn on the ads. So let me know if you want me to interview my guy and we can talk about ads. And then once you've collected a lot of emails through ads, through YouTube, if you're deciding to do YouTube, then you can start nurturing a newsletter. Then you can start doing email marketing, and you can use a company such as MailChimp or Klaviyo. But that's when you can start nurturing your email list, and you can start telling them about the collections that you are creating, the story behind the collections. So also think about making a nice website. Nowadays, there are so many that are so easy to make, that are intuitive. I've used Squarespace before, but my favorite is Shopify. I love working with Shopify. Shopify is very intuitive. So find one that you find quite easy to work with. Can be Wix, can be Squarespace, and like I said, my favorite is Shopify. I've used Shopify for my jewelry brand and also for my art account. Make your website looking really clean, beautiful, aesthetic, professional looking, professional photos. You can also add a blog so that all of your products, all of your artwork is searchable through SEO. Again, that's a subject for my marketing guide to be able to cover with you guys if that's something you want to know. And basically, that's all you need. You can have Etsy as well. Etsy, I use it just as an extra place to showcase my work. But I actually don't like Etsy that much, because Etsy, for some reason, decided one day to delete my account for no reason. So that's why you should have your own website and collect emails. Because with social media, with Etsy, with any platform that you don't own, they can do things like that. You can have your account hacked. You can just lose all of your business night to day if you're not collecting the emails and if you don't have your own website. So another reason to not be completely dependent on social media. So if you're also burnt out by social media, fed up, and just don't want to use it anymore, it's not the end of the world. There's YouTube, and like I said, YouTube, you can create content and it's searchable. It's evergreen, which means that it will be there forever. People can always search for your content and find it. You can use Facebook groups. I did do that in the past, but like I said, I just don't want to be using social media at all now. I am happily living my life without social media and using it the way that I told you. And I do love YouTube, so I will always be here on YouTube. So my advice for you is to create more systems that work for you and not against you. Systems that are a tool, that don't deplete your energy. Because if you're here in my channel, you're probably an artist or somebody who loves to create things. And this is what we love. This is what makes us feel alive. And if you want to create something fun, I have a masterclass that unblocks your creativity with really fun exercises that you can try. I will also link that below. And if this video has helped you, I would love to ask you to hit like and subscribe, because I just began this channel this year and this helps my small channel a lot. Any help that you need with selling your art, let me know in the comments. I'm here to help. And I'll see you next week. Ciao!